It's time to wake up, recover from last night's mess, and get your fix of sports caffeine. It's time to kickstart your day with the latest sports news and opinions. Get ready. Sports Caffeine is live in 3, 2, 1.
And welcome everybody to Sports Caffeine Tuesday Sports Night.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. That's our new intro. Hello, everybody. We're trying to rap. Here we go.
We're
What's
pretty
going on,
happy for all
everybody?
our teams moving.
Yeah, that's right.
I know. Well, except for last night's loss for the Rays, but they're winning right now, so it's all right. So welcome everybody to another episode of Sports Caffeine. Of course, I'm El Bushman, looking through texts and stuff from our show message board. There we go. Alongside me is Kaylee Chikoski, of course.
Hello.
You're looking different today.
A little
Wow,
different.
thank you.
It's a little different.
Just a
No,
Wow.
Not so
Thank
much
you.
here or here, more
Here,
so
but
right in.
here, like here. Did you get
Wow.
a new back? Did you get a new background? Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
You got your hair did. That's what it was.
Oh, hair did.
Yeah.
Did you get new eyebrows?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
All right, and
Okay.
moving along underneath, moving along, Taylor Maville, and also the big man Chip. What's going on, everyone? Hello, happy
Ready to
Tuesday,
rock.
Tuesday night.
Trying.
I must say, I'm in week 2 of Sober October, and this is actually a non-alcoholic beer. For everybody
Wow.
wondering,
That means you went out and purposely bought that
I
Yeah,
did.
That's disgusting.
Well,
It's
here's
like $5 for what?
Here,
for
here's
nothing.
the
No
thing.
effect. Yeah.
Here's the deal. I bought this. Coors actually comes out with a non-alcoholic beer, and it's actually not that bad. So I went to Publix because I was all out, and I was like, okay, I don't like Heineken. Heineken Zero sucks. The St. Pauli girls, nah. And then they had this Klaus, some German.
What is
thing.
it
I was
again?
like, Klaus. So the Germans know how to make beer. I was like, all right, well, maybe they know how to make non-alcoholic beer. So I picked up Klaus.
And it's
So
pretty
far,
good?
it's terrible. It's terrible.
See,
No,
See, I always
terrible.
try and go the other end of the spectrum, try to find the beer with the most high alcohol content, like Delirium, the 9.6. I just heard one the other day. They just came out with one the other day that was the most.
58% alcohol. I want that.
Yes,
I want that in my
terrifying.
body.
It's called, what is it called? Like, I forget the name of it.
It's called
but
you'll
send you to
shit-
the ER.
yeah,
You'll
That's
shit
what
your
it
pants.
it tastes terrible, is what it's called.
Drink this, you'll shit your pants.
Highest alcohol content beer, but I'll stick with the 9.7 Delirium, and I'll be good.
Listen, it's Sober October. Once like 11:59 on October 31st hits, I will go to the other side.
How
So,
are you on week 2 when it's August or October 6th?
I started
That
early.
hasn't even been a full week.
I-
yeah.
okay.
I started early.
A
Yeah.
smidgen early.
It was after our Sunday show where I took those 2 god awful shots. I was like, I can't.
They
I
did
can't do this. Yeah. So they did me
Yeah.
in. So I was like, all right, I'll start early, get a jump on things. So that's why I'm on week 2. So yeah. All right.
I'm
so
sober when I have my
NFL,
kid.
so NFL week 4 is in the books. A couple of our teams, actually
Nope.
one of our teams won. The rest of you guys were losers this week. So let's start it off. Taylor, your Dallas Cowboys. We them boys like to lose a lot. What's going on with the Dallas Cowboys losing to the Cleveland Browns? The Cleveland Browns putting up over 40 points on you guys. Now I must say, hold on. I must say, you almost came back, just like you guys did against the Falcons, but this
Yeah.
time you fell just a bit short. What is going on in Dallas? And of course, the NFC East is led by a 1-win team. The NFC East is led by a 1-win team, everybody, and it's not your team. So, what is going on with Dallas? What is really going on there?
Well, it's something that I talked about before the game on Sunday was I expected our run defense to be to be the worst part or be the better part of our defense, and really just our whole defense is just terrible. But they're
Good. I like the assessment so far. This is good.
Yeah, but we were getting manhandled at the line of scrimmage. They were when Kareem Hunt got the ball, they were already 3 yards down. Our line was already 3 yards down the field the other way. There's a lot of plays. There were some effort plays we weren't given. There's a lot of blown assignments. There are a lot of everything going on in the secondary. But there are some glimmers of hope. One being that our division
are there glimmers of hope?
Oh yeah. One is that our division is god awful, and the other thing I was talking about earlier is that it seems like everyone's defense in the league is pretty bad, to be honest with you. And it just so happens that it has to come down to what we talked about. What I was talking about with the Seattle defense last week was that they're pretty bad, but they come up with opportune turnovers and opportune plays on third down to be able to get their defense or their defense off the field at the right time. And so far, Dallas hasn't found that yet. We just have to kind of get lucky and go in a shootout. Dak's thrown 3 games straight over 450 yards. So it gives me a glimmer of hope to know that we're only a half game back. And I feel like the Giants, Redskins, and Eagles defenses are worse than ours somehow. And our offenses are our offense is better than theirs. So I'm feeling some glimmer of hope there. And the winner of the division obviously makes the playoffs. So we'll see this weekend against Giants. If we lose to the Giants this weekend, I might have to stop watching football because I will never hear the end of it. But holding out hope for this weekend against the Giants, and I feel like we're going to get a rebound.
I mean, you guys have so much talent on your team, and it's just
on the offense. For sure.
On the offensive side, I'm sorry, but it's just so terrible, like so god awful. I mean, I know Mike McCarthy's in his first year as coach, but could they even make a defensive change with your defensive coordinator? And what do you really have to do?
I think if this keeps up for the next few weeks, I think they'll have to. I mean, I don't think Jerry's going to stand or Steven's going to stand for it much longer. To where say we're going in 1-5, 1-6. Into the bye week or whatever the case is, I think they'll probably make a change, and that it won't be McCarthy. So they're going to have to,
obviously not,
right? So they're gonna point the blame somewhere else and try and do something. I mean, I don't know why they didn't pick up Earl Thomas or pick up someone, pick up Reed. I mean, anyone, Kaepernick's boy, something for the back end. I mean, we need some playmakers. We need someone making some aware plays. I don't know. Something we'll see this weekend. Like I said, Danny Pesos is usually up for a couple turnovers, so we'll see how it works.
We've got a comment from Mike L. Cowboys are trash, bro. Cowboys are trash.
Well,
certainly agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything, obviously, because we know about the Atlanta Falcons and we know about how they're doing. So the Cowboys have a little bit more to work with, maybe almost similar offensively, but defensively, I think the Cowboys definitely have more healthy players. Last night's game was even worse, losing all 4 safeties that we have, starters and backups, and into now our 3rd and 4th corners and practice squad guys. Falcons fans, it's time to call it what it is. Batten the hatches. Look for 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, something that hasn't happened in a long time. I don't know if there's really any way out of where we're headed. The NFC South is a very competitive division, always has been. I think those are games the Falcons, have more experience facing those teams, but I don't know if it gives you a solid chance to actually win those games, especially when the Saints are getting better. The Bucs are going to be in full swing. We're taking on Carolina, I believe, this weekend. So
I feel like your defense gets hurt every year, though.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Ricardo Allen and Keanu Neal haven't been healthy together, I think, since Neal's been since he signed his deal when we drafted him in the first round 4 years ago. So it needs to be gutted. I mean, the entire coaching staff, I think, needs to be gutted, and you need a new scouting department, and you need a new everything from top to bottom. So,
I tagged you in a tweet today. They were talking about how Quinn's on the hot seat for sure, but I guess he's pretty revered around the building and around the organization, just the way he
I was
runs
just about to
things.
ask
So-
that. How many more games are we going to see Quinn as the head coach? I mean, this is,
Arthur Blank has never made a midseason move with coaches, and especially with the new rules right now and the Players Association and also just the NFL rules with COVID. You can't really interview and talk to other coaches until the end of the year if you're on a team that's either a playoff team or going to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, what the Texans did, I can understand why they did it, maybe because they know they had Romeo Crennel and they had somebody. Falcons have somebody too that could run the ship, but they really don't. They can't. If you're looking at an Eric Bieniemy or a Robert Saleh, or you look at any of those guys, there's their playoff teams. So you can't talk to those guys until after the year. So, I mean, you're waiting now. So, I mean, I don't think anything – I keep hoping and praying I'll wake up in the morning and see an update and see a coaching vacancy, but I don't know if that's the best plan of attack. Because you can't talk to anybody, really.
Your Jaguars lost to the Bengals, giving the Bengals the first win. Joe Mixon ran all over you. Joe Burrow getting his first win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. How do you feel about that?
At this point, I'm glad it was Joe Burrow's first one. Congratulations to him. I mean, I don't know. You look at our defense, it was already pretty bad. We lost Miles Jack, CJ Henderson, DJ Hayden. I mean, I don't know if they're coming back this week, but I
thought Miles Jack had a pick in that game.
Miles Jack did, and then he got hurt.
Injured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so we lost most of our defense, and especially guys that were returning. And CJ Henderson is just a very talented kid that we're trying to develop. So it doesn't help that he keeps getting nicked and banged up this season. So, I mean, we can't stop the run. We can't convert their downs on offense, and our secondary can't stay healthy because they're doing, a heavy load every game. So I think it's tough. Could not any worse than we expected from the beginning of the season. So, hopes weren't too high. But, I mean, the thing is obviously coming out of Thursday Night Football where we looked complete trash. I mean, we put up 25, which given the performance statistically of our team, not sure how that happened. So, I mean, there were some good things, but.
Yeah, it just seemed like that game when I was watching it, you guys were just scratching and clawing, trying to find a way to get a stop and do something. I mean, it was just you guys were barely hanging on to that game. Cincinnati had control over it, it seemed like, and I don't know. I bet on you guys, so I was hoping for you guys to win.
Yeah, and I think it's our defense, something has to be changed on the coaching side of our defense. I mean, something has to give. It's been degrading since 2017, and not a lot of coaching changes have been made since that has been happening. So it's kind of disappointing that we brought in, a really talented offensive staff who's making clear moves to improve our offense with the guys that we have, which is really impressive because we don't have a lot of guys and we have a lot of young guys. And our RB1 is an undrafted rookie. So, I mean, we're dealing with a lot of
He's
different factors. He's playing fantastic. But when you look at what we the guys that we have, there is pure talent. And the fact that these games, other than Thursday Night Football, have really been close games. They're competitive games, and we're playing terribly. So if we could just put the pieces together, I mean, it's, we're going to turn around some wins, but I just don't know if that's going to happen this season. So, I mean, we have good draft picks. So.
And as I mentioned before, the defensive issues seem to be league wide right now. The league has NFL. Yeah. This is the most points the league has had after 4 weeks ever. So it's one of those things. Is a defensive problem seems to be league wide. I can't even think of a team that's having a decent defense or doing anything well defensively. I can't even think of one team.
The Steelers are doing okay.
Ravens maybe.
Ravens kind of mediocre, but
the Chiefs, Randall. It's the Chiefs, but even the ones that we expected to be good. I mean, Seattle, the 49ers, they're not really doing anything. And Seattle is statistically one of the worst defenses right now in the NFL. So is number one. Yeah,
number one.
Congrats.
Well,
but
I think one of the things that we said, Kaylee said expectations, and I think that some of the highest expectations for teams, Kaylee, kind of what you said, the expectations weren't set very high. Obviously, for your team coming out of the gate, you knew it was going to be a young team with a lot of talent. Taylor, I think the one thing when we look at Dallas with you, expectations were really high. With the Falcons, I think they were mid-range. El Bushman, expectations in Tampa were you guys. There were rumors of the Super Bowl. There was all sorts of excitement. What do you think has happened so far with the Bucs, and how would you gauge their progress going into Week 5?
I think on a week-by-week basis, the offense is looking finely tuned now. I know we have a lot of injuries, especially with, Mike Evans being injured now, Chris Godwin injured, OJ Howard out for the year. So it's going to be like a test each and every week, because now really all the eyes are on Tampa Bay, especially because Tom Brady's down there now. But when it comes to the defensive side, the defense is you're letting Justin Herbert put up 30 points on you. That's inexcusable. Even though, LA's got talent, it's Justin Herbert. You shouldn't let a rookie quarterback do that to you. And that's the thing I say a lot on Set the Sales podcast is, you can look at these games as tune-up games, except for the New Orleans game on week 1, where, we thought, a lot of teams were going to be rusty as it was, including the Bucs, because, Tom Brady, this is his first year in. He's never really been with this offense before, and these guys have thrown to. So we kind of expected him and that team not to really be as sharp as they would. But the past couple of weeks with teams, the defense should be dominating. It's almost scary going into the later weeks, because you have the Packers coming into town. You got to play the Chiefs too. Then you got to play the Saints again. It's like, all right, if you're letting Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers putting up 31 on you, I'm really concerned. I'm concerned going forward, because Aaron Rodgers is playing out of his mind. He's in that MVP conversation with Wilson and Allen right now for what he's been doing. And he's been doing it with hardly anybody wide receiver. So, with the Bucs, it's a week-by-week basis with their offense is doing great, but the defense is just such a concern to me, especially with their secondary part, where they're giving up so many points to where they should be containing guys, especially teams like the LA Chargers. And Tom Brady said this past week is, okay, we look at this Charger games as week 4 of preseason. Well, I hope that's right, because if now week 5 going forward, if this is actually the regular season for you and your team, then the defense needs to step up and actually, finish games. I mean, they have, but the Bucs have to score 20 plus points to win these games, because the defense is not showing up. So
we have to score 50. So
yeah, so you guys have to score 50. So the whole Super Bowl talk, I'm still not buying it. I'm saying they're going to make the playoffs. I know the two people on our right or left are saying no, but. I'm saying still playoffs. I'm okay with them going to the playoffs and maybe going to the NFC Championship. But Super Bowl, you're not going to be able to go to the Super Bowl with a defense that's giving up a lot of points like that. So it's
nice. It's nice to actually have a voice of reason with someone actually when it comes to the Bucs, because there's other people that I know, James, that think that the Bucs are going to blow out every single team that they play, and that is absolutely.
Taylor, if you know me by now, my expectations for the Bucs year in and year out is so low. If they disappoint me, I'm okay with that. But
that's true.
It's just now the injury bug is starting to hit them really, really hard on the offensive side. And we saw that the first half against the Chargers too, because Mike Evans was the focal point of that first half offense with Tom Brady. He was looking for Evans all day long, and Evans was getting open, but finally they turned it up in the second half where he was spraying the ball around, giving it to Scotty Miller, giving it to OJ Howard before he got injured, and then giving it to Keyshawn Vaughn. It's like, okay, this is what we wanted to see in the first half, not just the second half. So, like I said, expectations are low. So if they lose, and don't make the playoffs, am I going to be sad?
Yes.
From a Bucs fan, no. From a Bucs fan, it's like I'm used to this by now. I've had so many years of losing and not going to the playoffs. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm sad.
But the other good thing is that New Orleans doesn't look like the world beaters that we all thought they were going to be either.
Yeah.
So their defense.
And honestly, man, Carolina's looking pretty good. The past couple of weeks too. So Carolina could
not been a believer on them, but I'm starting to buy in now. I'm starting to slowly lean towards Carolina now.
I'm giving you guys one more chance against them this week. I just feel like Dan Quinn's playing for his job this week, so
that's what I thought in week 3. That was my exact reason for my picks in week 3. Was like, look at all these people; they have to win. They can't go 0-3, and then they go 0-3.
I was actually thinking about you today, Kaylee, because they were talking about the Tua debate. Are we talking about that? but they were remember you said the two would come in week 4, and now it's week 5, and they said Fitzpatrick is playing this week. I think this might be the last week for him.
Give him one half. If he does shitty the one half, Tua will be in second half of that game, or maybe even sooner than that. I mean, if Miami's really trying to be competitive in the league this year, then they're going to have to make a change no matter what. So,
what's their schedule look like? Who do they have coming in?
Miami in week.
Or where are they going?
This week they have. Hold on, let me pull this.
I remember I said they weren't going to have him last week because they didn't want him to go against Seattle, who we thought was going to have a good defense.
They're playing the 49ers. They're going. They're away. They're in Cali this week. They're playing the 49ers.
So travel, yeah.
Travel, yeah.
Yeah.
Not against the 49ers.
No.
Not against the 49ers. No way. So
that's another team. I mean, that just kind of, even though, and now obviously injuries you have to look at and you have to take into effect. These people lost 2 starting defensive linemen, so and a Pro Bowl with one of them. So take them with a grain of salt.
And every receiver and the running back.
So with a grain of salt. But what about Jared Stidham last night for the Patriots, who came in, threw a touchdown pass, and then had some issues, but the one pass he threw looked pretty good.
Yeah, let's get into Monday night's game. Let's get into that. Brian Hoyer starts for the Patriots. Looks like a burning trash can as soon as he was out there, and then Stidham took over. He's not. He could be the future of the team, but Cam's going to be in there for a while. I mean, Cam's going to, keep playing like he is playing and get his money after the season's over. Chiefs, I was a bit underwhelmed with their performance last night. I wasn't.
I think it was more so Belichick just doing what Belichick does, and he was just showing that if you blitz Patrick Mahomes, he's going to kill you. And so what he's going to do, he's going to drop some coverage, drop some linemen into coverage, play some zone blitzing and stuff like that when he has to. But he has the scheme, and it really worked. And they just got the benefit of some calls. They got the benefit of Hoyer just screwing up at the end of the half to not tie it up and just taking a sack when he could have just thrown it out of bounds. There's just a lot of plays that went the Chiefs' way, and Belichick really did a masterful job coaching, and it was just his players that failed him. I felt like.
I also feel like there's a lot of cases this season because there's so many injuries and because it's a weird, wonky season that there's a lot of teams like playing down or playing up, right? Like the Bills, like they're playing just good enough to win games, right? And like whoever they're playing and whatever the skill level of their opponent, that's the level that they're playing at to win a game. And I feel like the Chiefs are in that position right now where you kind of sit back, right? Like you don't necessarily playing the Patriots without Cam Newton. You don't necessarily need your foot pressed down on the gas the whole time. And I feel like we're seeing that a lot around the league because of injuries, because of wanting to preserve what players we do have left. And there just hasn't been like a ton of huge blowout games. Even the ones we expected, they're not really racking up points. They're playing, they're winning, and then they're going home. And that's
because both defenses are shitty and they're all
exactly. Yeah.
Well,
all right, so let's go ahead.
Fans not being in the stands or having that extra motivation. Like, I think there are other things that you can look into this NFL season that is really making a difference on how players get into obviously the game itself, but fans are always that extra added punch, that extra added lift when you need it. I think for athletes, and they're just not. I think you're 100% right. You're seeing that. I think it shows on the scoreboard, and it shows during drives where you look at one team and they should be completely throttling another team, and it just seems like they just don't have their foot on the gas. They're not there. So
especially in stadiums with the Chiefs where they have like 80, 90,000 people there, where it's so fucking loud in there. They're a part of the game. I mean, even in the Superdome for the Saints, like it's so loud in there, like you can barely hear yourself think. So yeah, it's definitely affecting a lot of teams, just like COVID is. I mean, we saw COVID hit, the Titans,
yeah,
and it fucked everybody up for fantasy wise. And I can't remember how many people were scrambling towards the waiver wire trying to get people to replace players that were affected by COVID. Myself included. I had Derrick Henry and Jonnu Smith, and I was looking for a running back. And luckily, I had guys on my bench. So, were you guys affected by fantasy this week in the COVID bug, or did you guys survive?
I survived 4-0, number one in my league. Just keep on trucking, dude.
I only have Jonnu Smith from any of those teams, so from Steelers or Titans. So I was fine.
Yeah,
Kaylee, I know you guys lost. So
Yeah, we lost, but I feel like overall we've been affected by injuries more than just like this week with COVID. We had Deontay Johnson. That was obviously something, but he's not really, our
Race home
main.
run.
I sent Ruth a trade.
I saw. I feel like that's a decent trade.
Let's pull the trigger. Let's go.
Yeah, although
Say yes.
although like Chris Carson getting rid of it. So the issue is because I was reading some
Don't read, just do it. Just say
I was reading some week
quit reading,
four,
just do it.
some week 4 exaggerations of should the Cowboys trade Ezekiel Elliott, and I was like, okay, well,
no.
You
Yeah,
won't
see, I have Carson in one of my leagues too, and they're like, "Oh, they're assessing him for a concussion." I'm like, "Well, that usually means he has a concussion." And then 2 seconds later, he's on the goal line, and he scores a touchdown. I'm like, "All right, well, never mind. There we go."
Let's open up that ESPN fantasy app and just press.
I'll review it.
No, there's nothing to review. You
We
said
have until Thursday.
Who is it? Who is it?
you-
Let me vote on it.
It was
real
for
quick.
Chris.
was
They have
Chris
Chris Carson.
Carson.
I was gonna give them Will Fuller, Miles Gaskin, and who was somebody else? Who was another receiver? Who was it?
I like it on the surface right now. I mean, Will Fuller's going to die,
Well,
but Gaskins been pretty
See,
good.
their team is hurting for receivers, so I've got plenty of those receivers.
Hunter
to give around.
Renfro.
Hunter Renfro, who's pretty good in Oakland right now.
It depends who your other running backs are, because Carson's such a beast that
We have
got-
Ezekiel Elliott.
They have Zeke.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah, one
just
league
say-
I have Carson and Zeke too.
let's
And
do
I'm
accept.
killing it in that league.
Pull it up right now. Accept. We'll be good to go. Nothing more to think about.
I'll
Hands
review.
Just no review. Just
Take a
just
last
fuck-
second
just
review.
just fucking do it. Just do it.
I mean, we're losing anyway, so I don't know how much.
Yeah, just poop. There you go.
The fact that
accept
you're
the trade.
so like hardcore trying to convince me makes me feel like there's something wrong with this.
There's nothing wrong with this trade. I guarantee you. I mean, you're getting two.
Will Fuller always gets hurt at some point.
Shut up, Taylor. Speaking of the Texans, they finally made the move and fired Bill O'Brien this past week. I was a little confused because I thought Bill O'Brien fired himself because he's also the GM. Yeah, so the owners finally said, "We've had enough. It's time for Bill O'Brien to go." I think the time was because I mean the Texans are just terrible. They're a terrible team. They did nothing to help Deshaun Watson out. He traded away their best player to the Cardinals, and now Romeo Crennel is going to be the interim head coach for the Houston Texans going forward. Is there anything to say for this team? Are they just going to be a dumpster fire the rest of the season after the firing of Bill O'Brien? Is there any hope for this team at all? Kaylee, I'll go with you first.
No, and
Tell us how you really feel.
you look at like Brandon Cooks and David Johnson, they brought them in, and besides week 1, neither of them have really done anything this season. And that's
Right.
tough because you're missing DeAndre Hopkins, who was not only an integral part in your offense and in winning games, but also in your locker room. And I feel like right now, not having that guy there, I mean, I know Deshaun Watson's a leader, but it's just so different, right? Having someone who is that veteran, who is putting up the numbers on the field, who has that experience. And I think when you lose that off the field and in the locker room, they're feeling the effects of that. And then when you have these two guys you brought in to reinforce the offense that aren't putting up numbers and aren't really contributing to getting the team on the board, I think that's tough. And I mean, at this point, I don't see why they wouldn't have fired him. I mean, it's too late in my opinion, but I think at this point, he took a bigger role in play calling this week, whatever that means. And it obviously didn't go that well. So, I mean, I just don't see how it could get any worse. And I feel like at this point, they can at least start to plan for next year. But it's going to take a lot to fill that spot because they also don't have any draft picks. So, like, they've also traded away their draft picks. They don't have any in the first round. So,
and I don't think they have any money left after giving it all to
No,
Deshaun
they
Watson.
have to,
They got nothing.
They have like the worst salary cap availability in the league. So, I mean, it's a lot. They've got a lot. It's a tough job, and they probably need the rest of the season to fill it.
Chip, who would be the best? I know Eric Bieniemy was a name thrown out there. Yeah, you can't really talk to coaches right now. Is there a guy that could really be a best fit for Houston going forward after the season's over? I mean, Bieniemy to me would be a perfect fit. You got Deshaun Watson there, but I think he's more fit for Atlanta if they get rid of Dan Quinn because you got Deshaun Watson and nobody else for that team. They've got nobody.
I think people are going to be running away from that job. I mean, I don't think, and Kaylee hit it right on the head. I mean, there is literally no future there, at least for 2 years, because you've lost your impact players in the draft in the first 2 rounds. You don't have any cap room. I don't see anybody actively going after that job. Now, I'm sure if you look in the college ranks, maybe you go Lincoln, who's the coach
Riley.
of
Lincoln
Riley.
Maybe you
nice 2-game losing streak they're on.
Yeah, maybe you grab him, and maybe he wants to make the jump to NFL, and maybe he would embrace that with open arms. But I don't see any of the guys we're thinking about, Robert Saleh or Eric Bieniemy or any of those guys looking for that job.
Yeah, see, that one thing me and Kaylee have talked about all year since before the season even started was get rid of Bill O'Brien and get rid of Adam Gase, even before the season even started. He picked up one thing she mentioned was that he picked up the play calling this past week, and when the game came down to the end of the game, they picked this horrible pitch play to David Johnson to tie the game, and it was like the worst call ever. So not only is it the only, and then back to the coaching ranks,
Ever.
the name I've been hearing getting thrown around today is Josh McDaniels, and only reason because of that is because one of the higher president guys is from New England, so who's with the Texans now. But I think McDaniels is going to stick around in New England and take over for Bill whenever Bill calls it quits. So I think he's kind of sunk in now up there. But that's the only name I've really heard of being thrown around besides Lincoln Riley, because Lincoln Riley's from Texas.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma's a dumpster fire as well. So might as well get paid in the pros and have Deshaun Watson.
I just think it's too bad. I mean, Deshaun Watson is one of the premier quarterbacks in the league right now, and he's got no talent around him. Like he needs to have a huge apology letter from Bill O'Brien, like flowers, candies, a big card, maybe like a singing mariachi band come to like Deshaun Watson's house and say, "I'm sorry." Like, it's terrible because like now the Texans are just in such a logjam of what they can do with their team. It's like you have a talented quarterback, and you can't really make any moves. Whatever, you may have to let the concession people go to get money back for the salary cap. You might have to cut so many things to get some kind of money to sign players to come over there. But like Chip, you said it best. Like this is almost a a job that you wouldn't want to touch with a 10-foot pole, which is sad because
it's a 2-year turnaround, 2-year at least. And at least get draft capital, and then at least start to evaluate finances because like we've already discussed, I mean, you're already up against the cap, and you already have other pivotal. I think they have 1 or 2 players that are going to have to be re-signed as well. So,
I was watching the game, a lot of the game this weekend, and I was sitting there and I watched it for a good 30 minutes, an hour straight, and I didn't see JJ Watt one time do anything.
Oh, he left. And, he left the game.
No.
Just like LeBron did 10 seconds before the game was over. He left. He was like, I'm gone. I can't watch this no more.
I forgot he was on the team. I was like, where's JJ Watt? Isn't he getting paid $30 million a year?
He called up LeBron. He goes, "Hey, is it okay if I leave the game early?" And LeBron's like, "Sure, I do it all the time. You can get out of the stadium and everything." So, okay. All right. So before we move on, we've got our Manscaped moment of the week. Manscaped moment of the week is sponsored by Manscaped.com, which is sponsored our show. Man, I actually used the ball wipes the other day because I'm out in the sun sometimes, and they were
so
fantastic.
Fresh and so clean.
So fresh and so clean. And if you're also tuning into the show, if you want to win a Manscaped prize pack, well, you got to like and share our show on Twitter and also on Facebook.com. So make sure to share our show, and you'll be entered to win a Manscaped prize pack. So our Manscaped moment of the week. Our Manscaped moment of the week is Brandon Ayuk taking a huge leap over an Eagles defender. I'll cue up this clip right now. There we go.
3rd down and 7. A little flip here to Ayuk, the rookie from Arizona State. And he'll bust it inside the 20.
Woo!
Look
at that.
Anything against the Eagles, I love. So
yeah,
it's great.
It warms my heart.
It totally did. I'm excited. Look at that. Beautiful.
But they lost, so it's the moment's kind of sad they lost, but still, Manscaped moment of the week is brought to you by Manscaped.com. SportsGamblingRadio.com. Make sure to get your 20% off and free shipping with the code SC2020. Thank you, Brendan Ayuk, for leaping over the Philadelphia Eagles.
Herm Edwards boy.
Yes, Herm Edwards boy. Yes, exactly. So, is this a knock to 49ers? Are they going to be in trouble going forward? Is just kind of like this is a bump in the road by losing to the Eagles?
Well,
I
their
think
whole
bump in the
team's
road.
injured.
I know their team's all hurt. Just
So
a
I
bump
don't
in the
know.
road.
I don't know if the loss is a bump in the road, but I think long term they're going to be fine because they're going to get their team back. But I don't know how soon they're going to put the pieces together without everyone.
Well, I was kind of pissed off because the Eagles won, and I think I hate everything about the Eagles and their fans.
But isn't
everybody
it fun
was
that even though they won the game, the best moment of the game's not theirs? You know?
That's true. That's
kind of
also a
fun.
good point. That's also
I'm pretty sure Wentz threw another pick or two in that game too. So.
Probably.
That's a good point. Okay.
See, we need Kaylee with the glass half full perspective. Without that, we're all looking down at our noses. All.
Speaking of Kaylee, what's trending?
Okay. Have you guys seen this clip of Aaron Rodgers talking to Pat McAfee?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard about
it. Play the clip.
It was great.
Let's play the clip.
All right, here we go.
No sound, Evan.
There's no sound? All right, let me play that back. Hold on a second.
No.
Can't do it without sound.
He's had some good clips with McAfee.
Well, thank you for letting me know. I'll put it back up. Jeez. Would you like to describe the clip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're talking to him and they're basically saying, Pat McAfee is saying, what do you say to people that talk about your down years, right? Because last year he's first year in a new coaching system. So obviously it wasn't as productive as Green Bay fans hoped it would be. But this year, obviously, he's looking well above where he was last year. The whole team is outperforming where they were last year. And he said, even my down years would be like record-setting years for other quarterbacks or something. And they went insane.
They went bananas.
Well, AJ Hawks' boy, who's a co-host on the
Here we go. Here's the clip.
Yeah.
Here's the clip.
Have more success or make it more difficult for success. Just kind of depends on the situation. It does help being the second year for sure. I feel a lot more comfortable, but I sometimes laugh when people talk about down years for me, because a lot of times down years for me are career years for most quarterbacks.
In his face.
That was awesome. I am so happy you said that. Oh my God. That's just like that. That was awesome. Good for you.
First of all, the amount of respect I gained for Aaron Rodgers in that moment. Talk about heartwarming. I thought it was so funny, but then the fact that he just sits there straight faced afterwards, like, yeah, I said that. I was like, okay.
Every McAfee Rodgers
and the way he's playing, the way he's playing now, he's also like MVP talk. The way he's playing, right now. Which is
looking amazing,
straight up gangster, and like he's been on McAfee's show, I think, a lot lately. So it helps him out even more. Just sitting back, like I'm the fucking man right now.
Old Levertar show interviews with him are all great.
Yeah.
He used to be like this bland guy, and now it's like he's pulling one-liners on McAfee, and I'm like, okay. I see you, like old guy coming back around. Look at this.
He's not that old. He's not that
beginning
old.
of his career.
He's not
think
old.
what he had to go through. He had to go through so much at the beginning of his career, and he had to take on a lot of things, I think, that were outside his normal personality. But now, I mean, you got a guy who's going to go to the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks. I know, at least in my time of watching football, he'll have a gold jacket. I mean, he's gone through a lot, and I think he's earned every right to be as arrogant or to say things like that.
Green jacket, gold jacket. Who gives a shit? I just
Well, I think the Packers drafting that quarterback too just helped his arrogance grow, because it's just like the Cam Newton situation. Oh, he's out this week. Oh, look what you're going to be stuck with if I'm not playing. You're stuck with this trash behind me. So. It's the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. He knows if he gets hurt, they're not going to be able to do anything, which is the case for most quarterbacks.
And in 2 years, or a year and a half, he'll opt out and he'll come to Tampa Bay after Tom Brady says, "I'm
wow, the retirement tour."
Yeah, hell yeah. That's where everybody comes to retire is Florida. So why not?
I was going to say there's already enough old people in Tampa. Don't worry about it, dude.
Yeah, come on.
Mix them in.
Yeah, come on. Aaron can come down here. He can hang out with out with Tampa's finest, all the Cougars that live up in Soho and then New Tampa. Come on. He
Well, he got rid of Danica too, so
Oh, I know. That was a bummer.
Was it?
What?
Was it? Was it?
Danica.
I heard she's very demanding. That's not
Very
okay.
Okay,
demanding.
well, obviously, I mean,
Come on.
but
She's a little.
would
She's
we
a little.
call her demanding if she was a man? Or we would call her a leader?
We'd call her precise.
If
She was better looking, then I think she deserved.
We'd call her bitchy. We'd call her bitchy.
Yeah.
She's cute. Danica's
She's cute.
She's super cute.
Yeah. She's got a lot of road miles because she was in NASCAR.
She's very weathered.
Yeah. There you go.
Accomplished.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So let's switch gears to the MLB playoffs. Chip, your Braves won today against the Miami Marlins. Congratulations. Took game 1.
Yes.
Looking pretty good. I can't believe I'm saying the Miami Marlins are in the playoffs. They haven't been in the playoffs in like almost 20 years, but because of this new expanded playoff form, anybody with a record that's sub 500 can get in. A la the Houston
Well, I checked the
Astros.
score earlier today, and they were winning, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're winning!" And then I checked the score an hour later, and they lost. So I was like,
The Tampa Bay Rays.
7th inning, I think, is where they had their big breakout inning.
Tampa Bay Rays are currently winning against the New York's bitch-ass Yankees 3-1 in the bottom of the third. Yes, they will be known as the bitch-ass Yankees from now on. The
you
Rays
can call the
dropped.
Yankees whatever you want.
I know the Rays dropping game 1 last night 9-3. Blake Snell not looking like Blake Snell, looking like the guy that's on Twitch all the time making slap dick.
Looking like he wanted to sit out the year.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of guy. So let's they're winning right now, but if the Rays drop game 2, is it time to say that's a wrap, folks, or do they have any chance at all to beat the Yankees in the 5-game series? Taylor, I'm going to go to you.
No, because they have to win they have to. It was just this. It was the same thing with last night with the Yankees. They had to win with Garrett Cole on the mound, and you guys have to win with Glass now on the mound. Now that you're down, you guys have the better rotation. But if you lose when Glasnow's pitching and go down 2-0, I mean, it's just
it's hard to come back from that. Yeah, I know, especially with Tanaka going in game 3. They got Morton in game 3 as well. It's pretty much the Yankees got everybody back in the lineup. Judge is back, Stanton's back. The murderer's row of guys they bought with that $200 million payroll is back and everything. So really surprised. And no fireworks have been lit just yet because of the history with this team. This is the one series everybody was really looking forward to because of the past squeamishes they've had in their series, but nothing has happened just yet. Kaylee, Chip.
The most interesting thing, I think, was the thing I tagged you in the other day was the fact that they're both staying in the same hotel.
I find that awesome. That's great.
I bet there is some behind the scenes juice that. Oh my god! I
will say this though: TBS never ever should do playoff baseball ever again. Their commentary sucks.
Jimmy Rollins is
whoever does the graphics for them suck. It almost seemed like they called Sasugo. They said Sasugo was Choi, or they said Choi was Sasugo in one of their promos. They said Blake Snell's name was Ian Snell. Like so many things wrong.
Oh my god!
TBS, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Listen. I had to mute it and put on the actual radio to hear the commentary to watch the game last night. That's how
Not
bad
like the Braves
it was
in the 90s.
So
no.
TBS is terrible baseball speaking. Is that what you're telling me?
Exactly. Ted Turner would be rolling around in his grave. Is he still alive? Is Ted Turner still alive?
He's definitely not.
Okay.
He has to be.
He'd be rolling around.
You think he is?
There's mass confusion.
We're Googling it.
He might be. I don't know.
Houston
is up 2-0 on the Oakland Athletics. I think we're all in agreement that we don't want to see Houston move on at all. I'm really surprised the A's are playing this bad against the Houston Astros. They might be having some trash can help in this series as well. Kaylee, Chip, any thoughts about the Houston-Oakland series?
He is still alive.
He is still alive?
Die, Astros! Die!
He might have Parkinson's disease, I think.
That's dramatic.
2.2 billion.
Yeah. Any chance that we see the Athletics pull this out, or is Houston going to be rolling on to the ALCS after this series?
I don't think they don't look like a team that's going to rally back in this series.
Okay.
No trash cans. No TV angles.
Yeah.
No,
No
Carlos
cap.
Carrera can suck it. By the way, his
Yeah,
comments
he had a
too.
couple home runs yesterday or something.
No, screw that guy. I hate him.
I mean, all of them are all.
They're a whole bunch of douchebags, douche canoes.
We all want him to
my
lose.
God.
I swear to God, if there's an ALCS with the Astros and the Yankees, I'll fucking kill myself.
All right, that's a little.
I
I'm
won't-
definitely.
Okay.
I'm definitely.
take that back a
That's
little.
That's how much I hate the Yankees. I'm going for the Astros.
Not figuratively, of course. I won't in my life because of those two jackasses of teams. Jesus, you guys are so weird. Anyways, all right. Before we get on out of here, any la- any-
Non-alcoholic beer you got over there? I think that there's alcohol in it. Dude.
Super October is going
58% beer.
Your
I made-
flagon has alcohol, dude. You're a liar.
I mainlined some crack before I came on the show. No, I'm just kidding.
Good.
Well, no, the thing is, like, I haven't smoked weed either, so it's like sober across the board, like no weed,
Wow.
like no drinking.
Wow.
Yeah, so I
Holy
have to
cow,
get my
like a normal person and stuff.
yeah, I know it's weird. Like I have to get out my
Holy
aggression
Christmas!
somehow. I know, dude.
Get a
it's
hold of
weird.
yourself, Evan. You're fine.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Last time I was sober, I was 8.
You need to go to a program, Taylor.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, all right. Okay.
I was referring to you.
Oh, my bad. No. My first drink was like I was 14, maybe. All right. Anyways, all right. So that's been a good show for Sports Caffeine. We will be live 11:30. Should we do 11 or 11:30?
What about this Thursday game? Are you previewing? This
Oh yeah,
Thursday game
I'm
at
sorry.
all?
Thursday game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Chicago Bears. Both teams on short rests. Thoughts on the game? I mean, it's Nick Foles led Chicago Bears. The Bears defense is pretty good. Tampa Bay's missing a lot of pieces on the offense. A lot of people are saying this might be a closer game as it appears. Do you guys agree, or do you think this is going to be a blowout game with Tampa Bay winning over the Chicago Bears, or flip-flop it? Do you think the Bears have a chance to win against the Tampa Bay Bucks? Chip, what do you
I
think?
think it's going to be close, just depending upon the injury report. We got to see. Leonard Fournette, I think, is questionable.
Still
Got
questionable.
Upgraded.
Okay.
Still
So
questionable.
I'm going to look at the injury report, but I mean, I could see this being a 7-10 point game, right now. I mean, there are a ton of injuries, like you said, to go through and look at, but 7 to 10 points. What's the spread, Taylor? Do you know?
It's 5.5.
Ooh, that's a lot of points to give one team in this
last
matchup.
I know.
Kaylee-
Go ahead, Cale.
Kaylee, thoughts on the Bears Bucks games? Do you think the Bears have a chance to maybe upset the Bucks?
Yeah, I think they do. I think there's only so long that Tom Brady is going to get away with playing as sloppy as he's been playing this season. You can't really.
Wait. 5 touchdowns over 300 yards. That was sloppy.
What about the pick six and all the
Get a pick
turnovers?
six.
It's 1 pick 6, 5 touchdowns. That's
2 on the season, 2 pick sixes through 4 weeks.
That's not sloppy.
They kind of gave it away. That
That's sloppy.
I mean, here's the
fumble
thing: is
before
like
the half.
I think you've seen the weaknesses of the Buccaneers be exposed kind of 1 week at a time, and I think it depends. Can the Bears take advantage of those? And I think their defense is good enough to take advantage of it. I don't think they're going to win, but I think it'll be a close game. Closer. I mean, I see it a 1-score game easily.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm definitely going with the Bears plus 5.5 on that one as well. I think just the matter of the fact with the injuries, they had coming off a short week. Brady being 42, how is he going to recover on just 3 days rest? That sort of thing. And I think with Nick Foles just being 1 week under his belt, he didn't look that great, but he didn't look Trubisky horrible. So I think he'll actually have a better showing, and I wouldn't be surprised if they pull off the upset in this game.
Tom Brady survives on the blood of children and kale salads. That's how he survives. So,
well, he also
Well-known
who knows what his secret doctor is giving him on the side that no one tests for.
Tom Brady's a vampire, right? He's a vampire. He died like 5 years ago in New England. He's a vampire.
Read the labels on
He looks like
TB19
it.
products, dude. Read the labels.
I know
Scary.
him and Tiger and Jeter all flying to Germany for some weird treatments that no one's ever heard of. Getting something injected.
All right, so we'll do our picks. I've got Bucks. Kaylee, who do you got?
I'm gonna go Bears on this one.
Remember, you have been in last place 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that's fair, but I also bet on the Bucks both of those weeks. They didn't disappoint me, but it's time to flip the switch, I think.
All right, Chip, who do you got?
Man, I don't like the way you guys. I'm not tying me down to a pick right now. I got to look at the
I
freaking
know,
Alright,
this is
injury report, dude.
impressive.
I've already made all my picks.
mine.
I'm already done. I'm
All
done.
right,
They're
all right,
live.
all right.
I
It's
freaking look at it, dude.
Tuesday. This is
Mine
a
are live.
preliminary pick.
We got 2 days.
Okay,
I mean,
all
on
right,
the
all right.
surface right now, on the surface, I want the Bucks to win, but we'll see. I got to see who's playing.
Before we head out, you two are the last place of week 4 for Pickem Punishments. So this week, I will let you guys hand out your punishments to each other. Yes.
Okay.
So Kaylee, you get to pick Chip's punishment. Chip, you get to pick Kaylee's punishment.
I don't know enough about his strong
See?
dislikes.
And this is why, see, we don't have enough information.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
we'll go.
Our
simple as
rapport
day.
is just beginning.
okay.
Simple.
Our friendship
exactly.
is just blossoming.
Then
Well,
you
why
guys
don't you guys post a tweet and
Yes.
then
Okay.
and it doesn't have to be right now, but tomorrow or the
Yes.
next day, and
Mhm.
we'll comment on it. We'll vote on it.
We'll
Okay.
figure it
retweet
out.
it.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Done
I
deal.
like that. I like that. That's a done deal. Okay. All right. Any last news or notes before we get on out of here, everyone? Nothing? All right.
Cowboys
Yeah.
better win.
Shut up, Taylor. Anyway, this has been another edition of Sports Caffeine. You can stream this on fanstreamsports.com and also mash the app, download it, listen to it. You got a whole bunch of other great
Oh, and
podcasts.
the
like-
U.
Shut up,
on
Taylor.
Saturday.
No.
All right, shut up, Taylor. Like Beauty and the Cleats. Kaylee, what do we got going on tomorrow night for Beauty and the Cleats? At 8
You know,
o'clock?
it's always a secret. Tune in to hear more. And
Okay.
then we have set the sales after. Are we doing that after?
I won't be a part of that, but you guys.
Oh, yeah,
will.
yeah. Yeah,
I
set
won't.
the sales at 9. Beauty
9
and the
o'clock.
Cleats at 8.
Exactly.
Fire the
All right.
cannons and bring it on.
Make sure to listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and iTunes as well. You can stream us on Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, and also Facebook.com. For myself, El Bushman, Kaylee, Chip, and Taylor, we will see you guys. Should we do 11 or 11:30 this week on Sunday?
11.
11:30.
What? I like having a whole hour to finalize.
Yeah,
my pick.
I gotta finalize my fantasy.
Yeah, because I always do it before the show, but
Like
then I
I
change
said,
my mind. while we're
11
talking.
sounds great. Love 11.
All right, so
11's great.
all right,
You're like
so-
inactive.
All right, so 11 o'clock on Sunday morning for our NFL pregame show. We will see you guys soon. It's been Sports Caffeine. We are out.
Thanks
Hello?
for listening to another episode of Sports Caffeine. Available for streaming on fanstreamsports.com and fanstreamsports.com.